Hi, this is Begin the Slaughter, and I'm Murder Who. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of an unscripted devlog because I want to go over the options menu. One of my new beta testers looked at it and was surprised at how many options and says, hey, that's a selling point. And I'm like, okay, don't think it is. Under audio, we have the usual audio effects, master sound effects, music, and for the tutorial, I have voiceovers, so there's also a control for that. Under graphics, full screen and windowed, there is a slight field of view change as you're going very quickly. So I have a little slider there to disallow that if that doesn't work with you. For the map icons, which is the player icon, any upgrades, stuff like that, you can increase their size with this slider here up to 3 times their normal size. You can make a more readable font, which just goes to the good old default font. I like the one that I spent time working on and making readable. Hide the speedometer. It's a big ugly thing. A lot of people don't like it. Okay, I'll give you the option to hide it. When you're experienced with the game, you'll already know what kind of stuff you want there. Gray out intensity, which is just how gray does the screen turn when you are in freeze frame. If you want it to be completely, desaturated, which is what I like because that clearly indicates to me what's going on, it's up here. If you don't like that, you can drop it down to even just not being grayed out at all. The foliage draw distance, I think if I even... No, I didn't apply it to the main menu screen. But that's just how far the grass is drawn. Draw distance, how far does your camera see before it starts to clip. Length of day, you can actually... This is just graphical, but you can change it so that the suns and the moon revolve around very, very quickly, or alternatively, very, very slowly, if you don't like that, distraction of the movement in the background. This background here is about 10 times faster than it would be if you were in the game with the default setting. Length of camera spring arm is something I added for my friends who are motion sick, and that just basically extends the spring arm of the camera. In practical terms, this pushes the camera further back from the hands, and it also smooths out the motion more. So if you get motion sync from all the bumps and stuff, you might want to lengthen the camera spring arm. I haven't done a lot to make sure that the camera still works well with a very long camera spring arm, so there are places in the game where this might not function great, especially at the max setting, which is just a ludicrous amount of camera spring arm. The crosshair vertical offset starts at 0. It can go either up to the screen or down the screen. I don't know why you would want to vertically offset your crosshair, but I had one of the beta testers ask for it, and so okay, that's an easy option, I will put it in. For gameplay, I have broken down the rate of time during freeze frame for different things that happen. The default is that it's just all set to 10%, so that, in freeze frame things are moving 1/10 as fast as normal. This is a logarithmic scale, so where I had this is somewhere around, it's moving at 1/3 speed. Where I had this was somewhere around moving at about 2.5 speed, or 2/5 speed is what I really should say. But I do like when pivoting to have it pretty low, and teleporting and hurt is when I really want to know what's going on. Killing an enemy is where I find I'm kind of planning forward to the next enemy already, and the freeze frame interrupts my flow. So you can just do that. Open Logs folder is just a button that will open the folder to the logs file. You as a player should hopefully never need this, but if you need to report a bug, that will help you get your log for me. Run by default means that you are running normally, and otherwise you will be walking when you press shift or the run key or whatever you have it set to, or the appropriate button on the controller, which I believe is left button. I don't see a need to make everyone hold down shift all the time, so run by default it is. Under keyboard and mouse controls, I have the mouse sensitivity for how fast it moves the camera, flip Y-axis, some people enjoy that, and then you can set every single thing in the game here to another key, or you can add another one. So if I wanted to replay tutorial to old speed Y, did you not? There we go, it did add it. I just didn't realize it would add it like that. You could absolutely do that. For controller, we have the movement dead zone, the looking dead zone, so you can capture those joysticks differently. If you are not using joysticks, then the dead zone is immaterial. If you are using joysticks, even for only part of the movement, that will determine where movement is 0 and where beyond that it starts actually counting. So if you have joystick drift, you would turn this up so that you don't run into too many problems. Camera sensitivity and flip Y-axis as expected. This is not the default setting. When I'm using controller, I personally like to flip Y-axis. And this is where I put the reset all controls the default button. This actually does the same thing for both. It resets all controls, keyboard and mouse and controller, in either menu. And again, you can set all of these things to whatever you want. I'm going to click cancel so I don't get any of those. So that is the options menu. Not that much work went into implementing everything here. So whenever you don't see an extensive options menu in a game, you can silently tut to yourself, as it's so much easier than people make it seem like it is. Anyways, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.